Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lotus Rewind episode 6, heading into playoffs now. I'm joined, of course, by Stubby and Symphonic, and today we have a wonderful guest from the mid lane showing up, Elmo. Glad to have you with us here on Lotus Rewind. Let's give yourselves an introduction, Elmo, to people who might not know you that well.
So, if you haven't heard of me, my name's Elmo. I'm a very professional and respectful human being, and I'm a mid laner for Lotus Black. And I have quite a bit of background in the amateur scene. I've done coaching and playing, and playing is definitely more fun. So that's why I'm here in this league right now.
All right, I agree with you on that point, Stubby.
All right, Elmo. So playoffs are starting. Unironically enough, that you guys are facing against Lotus White, and there are some spicy series. I think Absolute versus Omega is going to be, I think, really exciting. DZG versus Cape Dogs. See maybe if there's an underdog coming up in the way that can maybe make finals, and then CB Rush versus Catalyst Wraith. So if Lotus Black wasn't in this playoffs, is there maybe a single team that you think might just take it all, or like, do you think, hey, this team, no matter what happens, is just too good, they're gonna win, or maybe someone that you just have respect for in terms of teams that are left in
So,
playoffs?
so Redacted can't make it anymore, right?
Redacted.
Yo, they were so close.
Fuck. Okay. Shit. I was all
So
in
just
on Redacted.
just a reminder. So the teams left are Absolute, Omega Gaming Runeterra, Lotus White, facing against you guys, DZG Olympus, Cape Dogs Unchained, CB Rush, and Catalyst Wraith.
I think definitely I think Omega. I haven't really looked into those things, but they definitely came from a slump, which is really impressive. And if I'm being completely honest, I think Absolute and CVR are the only other contenders other than us, and then maybe Omega can surprise. So those are my top four.
Okay. So you favor Omega and Absolute, I guess. Some successful teams in the past. I know Omega is kind of a new team, but I know they have Acid, who's been really successful and was previously on CB Rush. So, other than the teams, is there a player maybe in the mid lane that you face that just stood out to you, or maybe someone that that's playing in the opposite side of the bracket that you maybe have a lot of respect for, or just think that player is just extremely talented?
I think all the mid laners in this tournament are very, very talented. So I think I can put all of them above me, and we'll be fine. I think one person to look out for. I think whoever the support player is for Absolute, they've got some kooky picks for support lane, and I think that they're really the only question mark going into playoffs.
Okay, so more love for Absolute. I like that. All right, and I'll move it on to Zim with the next questions. Thanks, Elmo.
No problem.
Yeah, so my question comes down to kind of where you guys started, right? Like this Lotus Black, you guys are new as a team, right? It's a new iteration of Lotus Black. So between week 1 and now, what is the biggest change, or what has been the biggest driving factor for you guys' like continued success in the regular season?
Well, continued success has been a little bit spotty. I know our team was made right before the deadline was formed, and I looked at all the rosters and I thought, if we even drop a game, I'll be upset. And then we did drop a game, and I was upset. And then we lost a series, and I was even more upset. So it's all about like trying to figure out which iteration of Lotus Black is the best. And I think that moving into the playoffs, we're gonna have no problem with putting our best foot forward and taking some dubs.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I mean, that series is still a close series, and you guys, that's probably been like the closest series you guys had. Aside from that, it's been pretty straightforward, pretty much a stomp everywhere else. So I mean, like you said, I mean, if you're learning from it and you guys are able to put your best foot forward, that's great. So going on a completely opposite direction. So we know that Banter Chat is, pretty fun place, a lot of respect, much like yourself, a very respectful place. So what's some of your hot takes going into this? What's give me as many as you want. I want to hear it all.
The thing about hot takes is I don't think they're hot. I think they're just regular takes, but other people might consider them hot. See, I don't know. I was full on the whole season. TA was dog shit. I think DZG is also, I don't even know where the fuck they came from. I don't even know how they're here. It's like how these people get into the party. Like, who invited them here? I think that'll be nice, fun banter to see with how those series goes. So, other than that, I don't think there's in terms of banter, nothing's really been crazy with hot takes. Um, and in terms of gameplay, no team's really kind of overly stepped up to really warrant any hot takes.
All right, yeah. I mean, I dig it. I dig it. All right, JBL, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much. So Elmo, you talked a little bit about playing on a bunch of amateur teams before and having different iterations of Lotus Black. I wanted to ask you, comparing Lotus Black to the other teams that you've played on, what are some of the good and maybe some of the not so good things that Lotus Black offers?
Well, it's different because there's different metas that you play in, and I know in the seasons that I've won before, it was basically like just player gap, and we'd win our games. And in this season, in this iteration, it's more about teamwork. And Lotus Black, unironically, has players that are very talented and skilled, and we can kind of put the resources anywhere, and we'll be fine. I've heard people say that before, and they're fucking lying, dog. They
Yeah.
cannot rely on everyone, but
Yeah.
I have no problems shifting power to Fire in the top lane or Xeno Smurf Quaydog in the bot lane to carry the games. And really, that's about the teamwork and working together to take these wins.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point that you bring up, and I think that we have seen multiple members from Lotus Black carry separate games throughout the season, so it definitely gets backed up in that sense. But Elmo, is there anything else you would like to say as we wrap up the interview here?
Anything to say?
Any shout outs? Maybe
Oh yeah, shit. Okay. Hashtag free Mado.
okay.
That guy. The one from earlier in the season.
Mako,
And
Mako.
No. I'm pretty sure it's Mado.
it's
Yeah, it's pretty
I'm
Mado.
fairly certain it's Mado. And
Yeah.
then also Xeno for Player of the Week. Hashtag Xeno for Player of the Week.
Okay.
I heard he did good in a game or something, right?
Yeah.
I think he got maybe one penta.
Maybe.
If he
Maybe
did it in a
two.
second one. Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
heard it was like this against this like Catalyst team that wasn't really that great.
Oh.
You know, they made playoffs, so that's better than TA can say. That's all. I mean,
I want to speed one quickly with you, Elmo. Playoff predictions. I just want to speed run it. So best of threes. Absolute versus Omega Gaming. Who wins?
absolute.
Okay.
2-0.
Lotus White versus Lotus Black. It's kind of biased here.
Lotus Black 2-0.
Lotus Black too. DZG Olympus, the nobodies versus Cape Dogs and Chain to you. Hey, that's what he said.
I'll put Cape Dogs at 2-1.
Okay, CB Rush versus Callous Wraith for the last one.
I'll put CB Rush at 2-1 as well.
CB Rush. All right, you guys heard it here. That's Elmo from Lotus Black. Thank
Bye.
you very much, Elmo. I hope you have a great day. And that's going to wrap up the interview today, boys and
Thank
girls.
you for having me.
And now we're going to move on to a little bit of a different segment. You most likely looks pretty similar, to what we've been doing before. We got some players of the week here, and instead of power rankings, we actually have some top duos. So Symphonic, give us the rundown.
Absolutely. So top duos, I'm going to say they're not in really any specific order. I mean, they're all really good in their own right. And I mean, these are the strengths that I think each team kind of brings in to what's really going to be determining these games coming up this upcoming week. So first we got Necrox and Fire Streaks, from Lotus White. Their bot lane has been insane. I mean, Fire Streaks and Necrox have been sitting in like top 10 in things like CS per minute, damage per minute, assists, vision control. It's been kind of nuts. They've been consistent throughout the entire season. So, I mean, they've been probably the most consistent bot lane out of, I think, all the divisions. At least that's how I feel. Obviously, they've had their bad share of games. They did go 2-0 or 0-2 against CB Rush, their only loss of the season. And they definitely looked a little worn out there. But, I mean, they kind of made a big comeback. And I think they are kind of the strength and the top duo for Lotus White. Coming in for DZG, we got DZG Heartbreak and Mobster Penguin, our only mid lane jungle duo in the LPL. If you go back and take look at some of these games, Heartbreak and Mobster Penguin have been consistently just the anchors, I think, the driving force for their team. It's been kind of the really strong jungle presence, the kind of consistent laning in Mobster Penguin, and then DZG just kind of fits everywhere else. They make up for what the other two may be lacking or what one may be lacking, but Heartbreak and Mobster Penguin just have that synergy that I think is really going to carry them through this playoff run. Coming in from Lotus Black, we have Quaydog and Kraydog, the bot lane for Lotus Black. Very strong here. Shout outs to Quaydog. Never called you out on it, but you did get 2 pentakills into Kalas, right? So there you go. I got you at least once. But they've been a really solid bot lane. I mean, yes, they've had some unfortunate losses throughout the regular season, but they are looking real good, and I think that's probably the strength. Elmo and the rest of the team, they're also looking real good, but I think it's really Quaydog and Kraydog that are really going to make this difference, especially when it comes to our first playoff matches of the week, which we'll get into a little bit later. Also in the bot lane, we got Zeri and Tay, preschooler for both. The bot lane for Absolute Esports, they were our players of the week last week, a bot lane duo. Zeri being there twice. Tay being there twice. So they're very good. They are consistent. They kind of were the dark horse, I think, of this the LPL Division A, and they are very good. They are definitely one of the strongest parts of Absolute Esports, along with players like Mercy Hawk, but they're very good, and I think they're really going to give some teams a run for their money. And last on this list, again, not in any order, we got Nuffies and Mitt, some players of the week themselves. I mean, pretty much everyone here has been at least player of the week or close to it, but Nuffies and Mitt, very strong. I mean, CB Rush has only dropped 1 series so far, and Nuffies and Mid have always been pretty much on top in terms of damage charge, vision control for CB Rush, and have always been, again, that driving force along with the rest of their team. But I think these are the strengths, and I mean, I've had to mention your team. You guys all have really good strengths. There's a reason you guys are in playoffs, especially some of these teams that were completely unexpected. But this is definitely what you need to watch out for if you're doing some scouting. Definitely look into some of these. These are big. Going into players of the week, in the top lane, we got Octofu. He is the rock for DZG. No pun intended, as he has had a couple Malphite games. But he's this guy, man. He's super consistent. Like, I watch their games. I see kind of what he does. I mean, he's not like this carry player, but when you put him on, things like Ornn, Camille, Malphite, Trundle this last week, he's super consistent. He is just the rock again for DZG. It's the lane that never loses, can win, but at least will always go even and will not give things up for free. And I think if DZG can play to that strength, that's going to be one of those immovable lanes that'll really carry DZG through this playoff run. In the jungle, from Lotus White, we got Zangi. He was incredibly influential in Lotus White's win against TA Super Cuties. I think the biggest upset of last week. Not because Lotus White shouldn't have beat them, but the fact that TA Super Cuties didn't make it to playoffs. But Zangi, along with St. Alucard in the mid lane, they were really working it, and they were really killing it against TA Super Cuties. So definitely hats off to Zangi there. In the mid lane, making return from week number 1 of the Players of the Week, we got King Yeatloaf for Kate Dogs Unchained. In their match against CWRU, I mean, King Yeatloaf had some crazy numbers on, I think it was Lux, and I'm going to forget the second one. Oh, on Cassidon. I mean, he was nuts. He was very good. He is, again, one of these players that if you're playing against Cape Dogs Unchained, he is definitely someone to watch out for because he just flips every lane. I mean, he's constantly getting leads on his own, and if he gets any kind of jungle help, I mean, God help you, it's just might be over. In the AD carry role, we have King Civil making his transition upward from players to watch from last week. King Civil, the ADC from Omega Runeterra, carried the series. I mean, granted, they were playing against AoE Super Squad, a team that really had nothing to lose and everything to gain. And King Civil, again, it's that what I mentioned last week. He is a very strong AD carry player. I had some high hopes for him. He's popping off in these last couple weeks, and if you're not careful against Omega Gaming, he is gonna just roll that lane. And lastly, for Players of the Week, we got Fire Streaks, the support for Lotus White, coming back from week 2 of Players of the Week. I mentioned him. He was in my top duos. He is a very strong support. Makes a big difference in that bot lane with Necrox. I think they work very well together, and I think Fire Streaks is just this great support that's behind an equally as great AD carry. So yeah, I mean, those are my Players of the Week. Those are my top duos. Going into playoff predictions, I think that's definitely something that we're all looking forward to. So we got to hear Elmo's predictions, but, running down the list, we got CB Rush versus Kalas Wraith. I think CB Rush is going to take that 2-0. I think it's going to be a pretty clean sweep from there. CB Rush has been looking unstoppable. Kalas Wraith has been dropping games here and there, had a couple losses in the middle of the season, and really just hasn't looked as strong as CB Rush has this entire season. DZG versus Cape Dogs Unchained. I think DZG is going to take it 2-1. DZG has only dropped one series this game, but they've been notorious for doing a 2-1 series pretty much every single week of this regular season, and I think it's going to be no different against Cape Dogs. I think it'll be difficult, a very difficult series for them, but I think they're going to take it 2-1. In the Lotus v Lotus matchup, white versus black, I'm going to give it to Lotus White. I'm going to give it 2-1 for Lotus White. And not to go against Elmo, he was a great guest. But I think Lotus White has just been more consistent. They are very good across the board. Their only loss of the season coming to CB Rush. Yes, it was a 2-0, but they picked themselves back up, and they've been 2-0ing pretty much ever since. They took a really strong win against TA Super Cuties last week, a team that you thought was going to get into playoffs. And I think they're going to give Lotus Black a run for their money, and they're going to take it 2-1. And last but certainly not least, we got Absolute versus Omega. I think Absolute's going to take that, but also 2-1. I think Omega has a very strong chance to kind of flip this on its head and actually take it if they sneak up on Absolute. But I think at the end of the day, just based on Absolute season, based on their recovery from their loss against was it TA Super Cute? No, against Callus Wraith. I think Absolute has kind of picked up their pieces and they're going forward pretty strong. But I think they're going to take that 2-1. But yeah, Stubby and JVL, what are your guys' thoughts on these LPL playoff matches?
Well, let me just start real quick. The fact that Lotus White and Lotus Black are meeting already in playoffs, I mean, it's criminal.
Kinda rigged.
But Stubby, what do you think?
I think Absolute versus Omega Gaming Runeterra. I think Absolute, again, like I said last week, is my favorite to win Primrose League. I think they 2-0 and then they just I don't think they sweep the best of fives, but I think they 3-1 the best of fives into a dub. Lotus White versus Lotus Black. I'm gonna go with on the side of our interviewer today, Mr. Elmo, and say Lotus Black is gonna take it 2-1. Just because I think Lotus Black just has more experience and their players have been around longer. DZG Olympus versus Cape Dogs Unchained. This is the hardest series for me to predict, but I think DZG is low key really good, and I don't think they've gotten enough respect throughout the season. So I'm gonna give it to DZG 2-1. And again, I am a big Catalyst Wraith fan, but they have been dropping some games. So if this was a best of 5, then I'd say Catalyst Wraith can win, but it's a best of 3, so I'd say 2-1. I'd say 2-0 CB Rush. Those are my predictions. I think pretty standard. Again, DZG versus Cape Dogs Unchained would be my like series to watch and like a big question mark in terms of like who's gonna win. But my fate's in DZG.
All right, well, now that we've touched on the LPL, let's go over to the LGL. And again, top duos, players of the week. Stubby, give us the rundown.
All right, so unlike Symphonic, I chose by duos in order. So I think that these duos are winning these teams their games. Starting off first, a team that I didn't really think much of when the season started, and I didn't really know much about, but they have been dominating. New World Esports, mid and jungle. They also got some interesting names, Dilf Daddy and Chesticles. So I guess they have to be a good duo if they got names like that. But from what I've seen so far, they look like this team. They look like they have the best mid jungle duo in the league. They'll coordinate plays. They'll push their lead together in roams, and they've been pretty dominant so far as a duo. And I think this will go further in the playoffs, and this is why personally I think New World is going to go far in the playoffs, and in my opinion make finals. So that's my first duo. Next duo is a duo that we saw kind of more in the latter half of Gardenia League. It's CB Dusk spot lane. We have like Kofos, who used to be the mid laner, and the Love Hitman. Um, so CB Dust, they play through the spot lane, and they play through it because they can carry pretty consistently. When resources are pounded into their ADC, Love Hitman, he'll pop off and carry. And even when they don't, the CB bot lane, they just seem to play well. They gain leads on their own and they can snowball games. Remember, guys, Love Hitman is a Cassiopeia player, so please ban Cassiopeia. I don't like Cassiopeia ADC players.
Giving away strats, come on.
Wow.
I swear someone typed that in like banner chat. Guys, ban Cassiopeia for Love Hitman. Like, he's really good on cast. If you don't kill the cast before first back, then it's doomed. All right, next up, TA. Kaxi and Kobita. So the first jungle and support duo. I think one of the most important duos. Especially if you're riding solo queue right now, support jungle is completely broken. These two they're the main facilitators of TA Spirit. They coordinate a lot of plays together. They help their solo laners get ahead. And Jason Kripp, he's on an island. He's not in top lane. He's an 80. He's an 80 carry, but he's on an island down there, and he does become a monster late game because Kaxi and Kobita are getting them that early lead, and they roam together. They clear vision together. It's just what you need a duo to do, and this roaming duo, you know, it helps our solo lanes gain massive leads. So well played to these two. Next up, we have Clown Gaming's bot lane. Is it Stone? Sorry if I butchered your name. And Induced, hot topic in the Player of the Week lately. But majority of regular season, they've dominated their opponents through bot lane, and Induced just just running crazy with most teams, just not having an answer for them. When an ADC picks Samira and they get 15 kills, that's scary, man. Because you know that Samira is just gonna pop off unless you ban it. But the support, Wisdom, didn't play in their previous series. Oh my god, I can't speak. But I think Clown Gaming with their full lineup will be a pretty big force to deal with in playoffs, especially maybe in a best of 3, but especially in a best of 5 where it completely changes. Next up, we have our last duo. We have Fiendish Codex's duo. Mid jungle, we have Gordon and Award. They're really aggressive, one of the most aggressive mid jungle duos in the league, and their raw synergy allows them to play in unison, and they open up the map for the rest of the team. I know this duo, especially. I mean, I played with them, was a duo before in a previous league, and they played pretty well. I think they made top 4. Just hinting out there. But uh, Gordon, he accelerates Award's lane every time. He pounds resources into him, and Award sits there and farms and gets a lot of CS, and people get angry about it. But hey, he can CS. I mean, you just gotta ban Victor. But those are my top 5 duos, and those are my top 5 duos in order. So if you're a team maybe trying to draft in these upcoming playoff series, I think you should really watch out for these duos. Dilf Daddy and Chesticles, you guys will remain number 1 until you guys int your playoff hopes away. But hey, New World Esports, I'm riding on you guys. Player of the Week, we have some new names here. 3 new names. Damn. Okay. CWRU's Newbie Derp. They won their series 2-1, and he played well even in the loss. 12-5, 16 on Ornn, 8-3-3 Gwen. Guys, Gwen is OP as hell. And then he played 8-1-16 Tom Kench, an even more broken champion. So, Newbie Derp, welcome to Player of the Week.
Wait, did you tell me he played Ornn, Gwen, and Tom Kench?
I know, right?
Wow.
Okay.
Busted.
Abusing the tier
Alright.
list.
Abusing the tier list. Well, I think Gwen and TK are abusing it pretty hard. But yeah, next up we have my long lost brother Scubby 420. This guy taking my name. Look at him. 13-3-10 in a 27-minute W on Diana, 88% KP. Damn, dude. And then game 2, 6-5-6, kind of a quiet Zac game, but still played well. Scubby, welcome to Player of the Week. And mid, another CWRU player, FCG9. 11-3-14 on Vex, 8-3-15 on Oriana. Damn, we got a lot of new faces this week in Player of the Week, eh? And we've seen this AD carry in the Player of the Week before. Bam, Goodshot Gaming, 16-1-3 on Jin. Damn, dude. 19 KDA, and then 6-2-4 Caitlyn. Yeah, so I had some good games there. I had 916 DPM on that Jin game. Damn. All right, and
Yes.
lastly, Fiendish Codex's support. I think it's the first time we saw Fiendish Codex's bot lane here. Could be wrong, but 2-3-17 Braum, 67% KP, 1-6-12 Leona, 65% KP, and I think Fiendish Codex did 2-0 that series. Actually, they did, which makes sense. But those are my players of the week, and some players to watch out for. And this is players to watch out for in playoffs as well. Um, Imperial Gaming's top laner, Potato Tomato. Imperial Gaming, they haven't played a game since week 5 due to, I think, a forfeit and just a team backing out and some stuff like that. So I think this team is really hungry for some action, and I think if they want to win their playoff series, I think Potato Tomato is a big facilitator in winning that series. And I kind of just want to watch out to see how this player does because I do love top lane myself. And my next player to watch out for, I think, like I said before, one of my top duos is New World Esports Chesticles. I'm gonna have my eyes on him. I see them as a huge facilitator that can get the ball rolling for the team, and they are performing against Team Rattle's Scubby 420, who I think Scubby carries that team pretty hard. So if I was New World, I would definitely pinch Scubby's pool because his name is so close to mine. You gotta show some respect, you know. Come on, guys. But yeah, those are my two players to watch out for in playoffs. My kind of just prematurely, but hey, that's that. Next up, playoff predictions. So unfortunately, due to some scheduling issues, one series had to be forfeited. Fiendish Codex versus TA Spirit. It happens. You know, it was done by the rulebook, and nothing can be done about it. So TA Spirit is gonna move on. I kind of wanted to see them being challenged a bit, but their next, or I guess their first playoff series will be in a best of 5, so looking forward to that. Next up, we got a banger series on our hands, folks. Imperial Gaming versus Clown Gaming. Uh, Clown's been kind of on the downward spiral lately after dominating Division B in the first few weeks, but I think Clown will put up a good fight, but I think the Division B second seed Clown Gaming will fall to Imperial Gaming because I think Imperial just has better. I don't know. I think they just have better team play overall. Like if you can just shut down Induce in the bot lane and just slow and kind of pinch Batman's pool and play counter engage champions like Mordekaiser, cough cough. I think they'll do fine. So I think Imperial Gaming is gonna take that 2-1. CB Dust versus Goonsquad Gaming. GSG, they just came off again. They just beat Clown Gaming in their final regular season win. You know, building a lot of momentum towards playoffs. But I don't know. I don't really see CB Dust dropping it this early out of playoffs. I think if they do, it's like through some early int plays, or maybe someone bans Cassiopeia and they have nothing else to play. But I say 2-1 CB Dusk because I just think they're better players. And lastly, we have Team Rattled versus New World Esports. I think New World's gonna take it. Team Rattled, they barely made playoffs. I mean, they did make it. They deserve to be here, but um, the games can be close. But I don't know. It's either Scubby 1v5 or I don't really see them winning because Scubby is just he plays tanks, plays engage, and just you know gets his lanes going, and that's what you need. So I think New World is gonna win, and I think New World is also my dark horse to win Gardenia League. So I'm gonna put all my poker chips on the side of them. Zymphonic, do we have any playoff predictions on your side? Let's start with Imperial Gaming versus Clown Gaming.
Imperial versus Clown. I don't know, man. I think I gotta side with Batman. You know, the OG guest. I think it's gonna be a tough match. I mean, you're right. Clown has been like a little bit on a downward slope, but I think Clown's gonna take it 2-1. I have faith in Batman and the crew.
2-1. Okay, and then next, CB Dust versus Goonsquad Gaming.
I think you hit the nail on the head on that one. I think CB Dust is going to take that one, probably 2-1. I think a lot of these games can be close with some of these teams, but I think CB Dusk is just built different. I think they were just playing the season really well, and I think GSG looked really good at the start. But yeah, no, CB Dust just been looking real good.
All right, and our last series, Team Rattle versus New World Esports.
I don't know, man. I got to cast a Team Rattled game last week, and I mean,
Okay.
Scubby looked good. I mean, like, whoo, you know. But I mean, Scubby looked good. The rest of the team kind of rough sometimes. But I mean, if Naughty pulls out that Xerath again, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna give Team Rattled the 2-1. We're gonna go for the upset. We're gonna just call it out. We're gonna be controversial. I think Scubby and Naughty are gonna look crazy good, and I will just come back and bite my words next week. You know.
All right, Team Rattle. You know who to at when you win next week. Zymphonic, your biggest fan.
Yes.
But,
I'm a Team Rattle fan through and through.
Yeah, I'll throw it back to JVL. Thank you so much. You know, it's been a good regular season, right? We had some ups and some downs. We had some banger series. We had some unfortunate things happen, but I think that for the 8 teams that are in playoffs on both Gardenia and Primrose League definitely deserve their spot there. It's been a long 7 weeks, and you know they're gonna fight it off this week to see if they can move forward. But yeah, I'll swing it back to JVL for some closing statements.
Thank you so much, Stubby, for giving us the LGL breakdown and the top duos. I like the support jungle duo that you pointed out of Kobita and Kaxi. Definitely some duos from support jungle can be overlooked, but we're going to head over now and some closing words. This is going to be the last episode of Lotus Rewind, unfortunately, but I want to thank Stubby and Symphonic for being here every week with me and making it such a fun experience. And I also want to give a shout out to Emma and Vinny for being in the background. Emma providing all the beautiful overlays and everything that you see for us, making my job really easy. And Vinny for reaching out to me and helping everyone put this all together. So big shout out to everyone. And I hope you guys all enjoyed Lotus Rewind as much as we did. And good luck to all the teams in playoffs.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're dreaming.
There's no way that you make it. And maybe you could fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fight back. You ain't gonna make it, you ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Thinking that they give a damn, you're not, think a straight kid. No, they don't give a damn, you got what I'm saying? I'm not fucking playing, I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just faking. Nah, I don't wanna hear it anymore, I don't wanna hear it anymore. All these fucking thoughts, they are not what I need anymore. I'm about to shut the motherfucking door on all you poor ass haters with your heads in the clouds, talking out loud so proud. You better shut your goddamn mouth before I do more speak out. It's about to head south. Never gonna make it. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you could fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? On all you poor ass haters with your heads in the clouds, talking out loud so proud. You better shut your goddamn mouth before I do more speak out. It's about to head south. Never gonna make it. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you could fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Or will you fucking fight back?